Hi, welcome back to ODE YouTube channel. Today I'm here for the pens for December 2021. I'm recording these on the 30th December 2021. So it is the latest date I ever recorded one of those pens for the month. I usually like to publish them on the beginning of the month and not the end. But a lot of stuff got in the way. One part of it was the return to the working place, and that messed a little bit with my free time. And there was also another big factor, that was the Inkvent calendar. I had to make everyday videos of that and everything became a mess. Also, because of the Inkvent calendar, to make that daily opening of the that daily video of the ink, I had to use 2 pens for each ink. So 2 pens times 25 inks, it is 50 inks only for the Inkvent calendar. So today this will be a very long video. So if you don't want a very long video, maybe you should forget about watching this. I will try to add timestamps on the description, but it will take forever for me to edit the video, so maybe I will not put it in the moment I publish the video. Maybe I'll take several days to have all the video description on the video below. However, I will try to have it done someday. In case you want to search for any pen or something that I show here, you can have a reference for it. But I cannot promise it will be right in the moment the video is published. So, also because of the Inkvent calendar and because of those 50 pens, some are already without ink, but because of all that, this video today will have 67 pens, so it will be a very long video. I will try not to take too much time with each pen, so we have a reasonable time for this video. But if I take just 1 minute for it, it will take over 1 hour. So, okay, let's find some courage to do this and let's start. The first pen that I have inked is from, and we'll make like a tour around the world. It is from Italy. It is a vintage pen. It is an Aurora 88, and it's written there, Aurora 88, with this Nikargenta cap. It is a pen inspired by the Parker 51, a very nice pen to use post-it. And let's start. So, first pen of the day is the Aurora 88 Nikargenta, which is this kind of silver looking cap with a fine gold nib, and the ink it has inside is the Diamine Inkvent calendar 2021. The color is 19 Festive Joy, and this is how this nib writes. Stiff nib, fine nib, lovely pen. I have to say that I chose to go through alphabetical order of the pen brand. So that's how we'll go. So from Italy we'll go to Russia, to this pen. It's enough to show this for you to guess where this pen is from, and it is from this brand, Benu. So this is a pen that I really enjoy. It's my favorite Benu pen. It is the large sized Benu Euphoria with a number 6 steel nib made by Schmidt. And so this is the Benu Euphoria Caviar, which is this beautiful finish, with a medium steel nib, and the ink it has is the diamine, as most inks will be. Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021 number 4 Tempest, which is a fun ink. And I may do another video about my favorite, kind of a closing video of the Inkvent calendar. So this was the ink I used with the Benu. From Russia we will go to the United States, and in the United States you have this metal pen, which is a cross, and it is a nice pen. It has a steel nib, which is fine. You can see the F above cross. And sorry about this, it becomes all blurry and very overexposed when I showed you this, but that's what I could do today. So this is the cross, Townsend, Medalist, which is this pattern, this silver looking pattern with lines, the Medalist with a fine steel nib, and it has inside diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021 number 10, which is Peach Punch, and this is a nice line. And this will be interesting because with this video be able 67 pens, there is a lot of choice, so you can see how nibs are different. For example, this cross is wider than the fine nib on the Aurora. The next pen is from the United States, from Germany, sorry, and it is a Diplomat pen. You have that cross on top. This is an older Diplomat pen. This is a style of pen that was used in a lot of German pens in that time, and this is the Diplomat Pop. It was a school pen, 505A in Lilac. I still don't know which really is the difference between lilac, purple, violet, so on. And this one has diamine, which is kind of a perfect match. Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021 number 5 Harmony, and this one has really a fine nib that is quite nice, and the pen looks great. I didn't show you the nibs, sorry, but the nib is this steel nib with nothing more engraved besides the Diplomat logo. And we will jump to another brand, but we'll stay in Germany, and we have this pen that has a big fingerprint there, which is not mine. The pen is, the fingerprint isn't, and it has a black nib of those that are sloped down. So this is a Faber-Castell Writink, or Writink, I'm not sure how to say that, with a medium nib and diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021 number 10 Peach Punch. So you can see that the same ink as in the cross looks a little different because this pen has a wider ink flow. So interesting pen with an interesting clip, also a school pen. And now we'll go to China, and we have a Fuliwen 017 with number 6 steel nib from Fuliwen. So this is the Fuliwen 017 Stearinite with a medium nib and diamine inkvent calendar number 9 Storm. And this medium nib is much wider and wetter than the previous one. So the previous medium nib is more similar to the fine nib of the Cross, although it is wetter, so lots of variations. You'll see that there is not really a standard for what is fine or medium across brands. So this is a nice material. The next pen is again a trip to another country, and this time it is to Ireland to see this very nice skull pen. I like this one a lot. This is the Gravitas stainless steel skull edition with a medium steel nib. The medium steel nib on the Gravitas is just a regular unbranded Yovo nib, and it has one of my favorite inks right now, the Montblanc William Shakespeare, which is not available anymore. It was a limited edition, but as we can see online from some people that test inks, it seems that Montblanc is sometimes re-releasing some colors with other names for other special editions. So maybe this ink is still around with another name, I'm not sure, but I still have a little bit on the bottle, and I'm not going to buy more. Just I like it, but let's not get crazy about red ink. This is again from China, so we'll be traveling both ways a lot, and this is a Hongdian. This is the Hongdian. Oops, let me show you. You can see the nib, kind of a number 6 nib, fine. So this is the Hongdian 960 yellow, although I think they call it originally orange. Sorry, not with a fine nib, and inside it has diamine inkvent calendar 2021 number 23 Wonderland. So if you didn't watch my inkvent calendar videos, and if you are not that much into inks, you just want to see if there was a special ink that interests you, you'll see, if not all, almost all of the inks, unless I already emptied both pens of some color. But this video will get you a very nice preview of what you can find on your inks. Although I will not take too much time to show you the shimmer and sheen and that stuff, but you can see there is shimmer on this Tempest at least. So, but as I told you, let's not spend time with that. Let's go on with the pens. The next one is a Jinhao, also from China. This is the Jinhao Centennial. I call this finish the Koi. I'm not sure if this is an official name. And it has a number 6 steel nib from Jinhao, and it is a Fude nib, which means it is bent upwards. This pen really needs to be cleaned. There is a lot of ink inside the cap, so I need to do something about it. I need to wait until it's empty. This one is quite easy to empty because it writes with a lot of ink. This is the Jinhao Centennial, let's call it Koi, with a Fude nib, and inside let's write in a different angle so it all fits. Diamine, Inkvent calendar 2021, and the color is number 4 Tempest. Again, it's the same ink that I showed you here with the Benu. And this is how this pen writes. So it's quite an impressive writing style that I don't use much. Sometimes to have some titles for my videos, for my notes or something, I use them. Another Jinhao Centennial. Now it is a blue version with also a Jinhao number 6 steel nib. And this one is a medium nib. So this is the Jinhao Centennial, one of the very good pens that were released. This pen is quite good, I have to say. With a medium nib, and it has inside, again, diamine, Inkvent calendar 2021, I was missing the T there, number 12, Stargazer. And this is how this one writes. It's really a wet ink, not a wet ink, a wet pen, so it is nice. It has a nice blue material, that kind of cracked ice pattern, so very, very nice pen. Another very nice pen is also from China, and it is this Kaigelu, the 316 Amber. This is an older version of the Kaigelu 316, and it has this medium nib with the kangaroo there. So this one is the Kaigelu 316 Amber. If you like wet nibs, this is the kind of pen. It has a very abundant ink flow with a medium nib, steel, and inside it has Inkvent calendar. Forgot to write diamine, but at this time I guess you already know, 2021, and this is number, where are my notes? Number 22 Black Ivy. You may not be able to see all the color differences, but as I told you, I'm not trying to show you all the details of the inks, all the properties. The next pen, also from China, also from Kaigelu, it is a more modern version of that. It is the 316A, which has the other parts of the same color as the rest of the pen. Instead of being black, you see the ends of the pen are black. This one is not. It has a different band on the pen, and it's really a nice one. Number 6 Kaigelu nib, made of steel, and it has a very, very nice material. This one needs to be cleaned also because there is some ink inside the cap, and this is the Kaigelu 316A in blue and with a fine steel nib, and this fine nib is almost as broad as the M, and the ink is diamine, Inkvent calendar 2021, number 25, all the best. And this is a nice color that I think it can be used to replace the diamine, the Mont Blanc William Shakespeare. So another reason why I'm not worried. And you have the kangaroo also there on the top of the cap. The next pen that I will show you, sorry, I have lots of boxes here, is another Kaigelu, so we'll stay in China. And this is the Kaigelu. I'm not sure if it's written there. No, it should be here, but it's not. 316. And this is also blue, but it is a very different blue from the other model. And it has this shape which is characteristic of many other brands. I have some trouble with the flow of the ink on this pen, and I think it may be because it is a shimmering ink, but also maybe because it has this little ball inside the converter, and this little ball can completely close the ink flow to the nib, so it doesn't really work well. I think I will have to disassemble the converter and take that little agitator ball from inside to see if I can use the pen properly. So this is you can see there is lot already skipping. I may have to see if it has some baby use bottom. I need to check this pen better before I make the review. This is the Kaigelu, it's not writing as you see. The Kaigelu 3-5. This is really annoying. 3-5-6 in blue, and I'm not sure if part of it is, as I told you, the shimmer on the ink, because you can see that there is a lot of shimmer on the feed. Maybe it's that, I'm not completely sure. And this one has a fine steel nib, and the ink inside is the diamine. It is very strange because all the other Kaigelus don't have this problem. Ink vent calendar 2021. I think it may be a baby's bottom because it's really inconsistent, but I need to be sure. Number 18 sub-0. However, I had this pen with other inks before and I had no problem. Sometimes pens don't like a specific ink. I'm not sure. I'll need to check it. Now let's not blame the pen already. And from China, finally, we jump to United States. And this is a Karas pen with a number 5 steel Bock nib. And, focus, this is the Karas Fountain K, made of Delrin and aluminium. This one has a broad nib and the ink is diamine. Ink vent calendar 2021, number 11, party time. And you can see that this broad nib is not really that broad when compared with some other pens I have here. I would say it's not much broader than this Kaigelu 316 Amber. But that's how things have some variation. The next pen is a Kaweco pen. Now we'll go into Kaweco pens and we'll stay there for a while, as you can imagine, because I'm a kind of a Kaweco addicted. So the first one with a alphabetical order is a Kaweco AL Sport Hello Kitty edition, which has a very fun Hello Kitty nib with the face of Hello Kitty, and it is a pink pen. So this is Kaweco AL Sport. This one has lots of feedback, but I like it, but really lots of feedback. Not that usual with this kind of nib. It looks like a black, those black coated nibs. Hello Kitty with a fine steel nib, and it has inside divine Design Pink, which is a fun pink ink. I don't use it many times, but once I received this ink from Zix Ideas, which is the Spanish distributor for some brands, and I found it fun just for a change. The next I have to show you is another Kaweco Sport, as you can imagine, and this is the Kaweco Art Sport in Amber. This is a color that is very, very hard to find. I'm glad I have one. This one has one medium premium nib by Kaweco. So this is the Kaweco Art Sport Amber with medium steel nib, and the ink it has is Kaweco Caramel Brown. This nib is very, very, very smooth, which is a characteristic of these premium nibs, and I reviewed these kind of nibs before. So it is a very smooth pen, not comparable at all with the Kaweco AL Sport Hello Kitty, which has a regular nib. The other one that I have to show you here is the Kaweco Art Sport Mambo, which is a beautiful one with a medium gold nib. This gold nib is from an older type of nibs they had. They are no longer made with this design, they have slight changes. So this is the Kaweco Art Sport Mambo. This is from Kaweco Art Sport Generation 1. This is a medium gold nib. I think it's running out of ink because it's skipping, and it doesn't skip. Kaweco Caramel Brown, and I know it doesn't skip because I used this pen a lot before. It is the pen that it was my first Kaweco Art Sport pen, so I know that. But because I have so many pens inked currently, some pens were left unused for some days. As you can imagine, I cannot use them all at the same time, so some may have the ink getting just a little drier. Now, I'll need to change this first box of pens, and let me grab the next one. Okay, I'm back with the next box of pens, and we will stay in Germany with Kaweco. The next one is the very nice Kaweco Collection, the Special Red. It is a very nice pen. So, Kaweco Collection Special, because this model is special, not sport, red, and this one has the extra fine nib. As I told you when I made the review, this was the first nib of a Kaweco with which I had some problems. It was not perfectly aligned, this extra fine nib, so I need to adjust it just a little bit, and now it's more pleasant. But I usually don't have problems with Kaweco. As I say, I think extra fines and broad and double broad are usually more tricky. And this one has inside the ink that I like a lot, that I showed you before, the Montblanc William Shakespeare. I like this kind of red, and I have to confess that I'm using up a lot of this red ink right now. I'm trying to use up some bottles of ink, not because I'm not trying to end everything, but I'll try to reduce my number of ink bottles. So some I will try to choose. When I write with red right now, I will prefer to write always with Montblanc William Shakespeare until it runs out, and then I'll go on to another red that I have around. I have lot of red inks. I have 2 or 3 1 liter bottle of Parker Quink Red, so I can use red inks. So this is the Kaweco Collection, but this one is in the sport model, the AL version, and this was called Vibrant Violet. Kaweco Collection Vibrant Violet. This one has a fine, is that a fine? Not sure, no, medium. It has a medium steel nib, gold plated steel nib, and the ink it has inside is the Kaweco Summer Purple, and I like this purple. It is a very good match with the color of the pen. And let's move on to the next one. Sorry, just checking here a setting on the camera. The next one is this fun pen, nice one, bigger size. This is the Kaweco Elite, which has a number 6 steel nib. This Kaweco Elite is no longer produced, but sometimes you can still find some online. I was lucky I could. So this is the Kaweco Elite with a fine steel nib, number 6 as I told you, and the ink it has inside is Waterman South Sea Blue. As I usually say, this ink already has a different name right now, not that, but I have an older bottle, so this is the name that it is on the bottle, and I'll keep saying this name because it's easier for me. The next pen is an interesting pen that I was lucky to get last year, or this year still, and this is the Kaweco pen, a very unusual one, which is a reproduction of a vintage model, and it has a slip cap, and I'm always afraid that I break something to take it out, so I'll take it very carefully. This is a pen made of ebonite. It has a gold nib similar to the one I showed you on the Kaweco Art Sport Mambo, and I was lucky to get this one. So this is the Kaweco eyedropper, that's how it's called, but it's not an eyedropper pen. It is a reproduction of an older eyedropper, but it is a cartridge converter pen. 1910, that's how the model is called, because it's a production of an eyedropper pen from 1910, and it has inside the diamine another beautiful color, Inkvent Calendar 2021, the color number 16, Vintage Copper. And it is a nice color, and this pen is running out of ink. That's why I see it is almost skipping. I know you didn't see any skipping, but I find that first P of the copper is not good enough. I can feel it. The next pen is a pen that is no longer made. Again, this is the Kaweco Ice Sport Pink. It is an interesting and fun color, and it goes very well with pink ink. This one has a steel nib, which is double broad, which is the kind of nib that I don't usually use. So, Kaweco Ice Sport Pink with a double broad steel nib, and the name of the ink is perfect for this pen. Is the Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021 number 20, and it's called Pink Ice for Kaweco Ice Sport. So I think it is a great match. It is a shimmering ink with a pink base. I think this is really a fun ink. I'm not saying that I would use this on an everyday basis, but it is a fun ink to play around. The next pen is a pen that is always inked and always in my backpack, and I use it not that much because it's kind of a backup pen, but it is always inked. It never dries inside this cap, and it has a mix of ink and it still works well. So this is the Kaweco Lilliput in copper with a fine steel nib, and the ink it has inside, I don't know, it is an ink mix. It is a mix of leftovers of other inks, which is something that you shouldn't do because they may precipitate and clog the pen and feed, but I think this pen is kind of indestructible, and I think it will hold that kind of messy ink. The next pen is still a Kaweco pen, and it has Kaweco there, and it is a Kaweco Perkeo. So this is the Kaweco Perkeo in all clear version. This nib has some feedback, nice one, but it has quite a lot of feedback. Let me show you the nib like this. It's pretty common Kaweco nib, and this one has inside Kaweco Palm Green, and this is how it writes. It's really a fine nib and it performs well. It is wet and it is a very decent pen. It is a school pen also, so very inexpensive and a good choice maybe for a first fountain pen. The next that I have to show you is another Kaweco Perkeo, and this one is a color that has a strange name, which is called Bad Taste. Not sure if it is something lost in translation or something. This one needs to be cleaned also, and there is some ink there on the nib collar. Let me just clean it because I'm not sure if I saw something there. Maybe I did see something that I'm not liking, but I'm not sure. In that end of the section, is that place where ink is that a crack, or is just the parts of the molding of the pen? I'm not sure. Let me check with a loop here. I'm not completely sure. I need to investigate these more, but it may be a crack or not. I'm not sure. It seems to be at the same time that kind of seam between the mold, and maybe it's just it may be just that. I need to check it better and then I will let you know. So this is the Kaweco Perkeo Bad Taste with a fine steel nib, black coated, and this one has diamine Inkvent calendar 2021 number 8 raspberry rose. Also an interesting ink, I think. So this pen, I need to remember to check it to see if that is a fail of the plastic or if it's okay. The next pen is still a Kaweco, and it is a Kaweco made of brass, the Kaweco Special model, the same as that red that I showed you before, but made of brass instead of aluminium. And this is also a fun one. So this is the Kaweco Special in brass. It's much heavier than the other one, with a fine steel nib, and it has inside Pelikan 4001 brilliant red. And this is how it looks like. It sometimes looks a little bit more pinkish than real deep red, but that's how it comes. Now I have to flip the page because we are with lots of pens already. 26 pens, so we didn't even reach half of this. I don't know if I'll be able to shoot these all in a row, but I'll try. I don't have that much time today, so maybe it's better to do it if I can. The next pen is a Kaweco, still a Kaweco Steel Sport, which is a very good beast workhorse. It's also a flawless pen, it will not fail you. This one has again a medium premium nib. I have the review of those nibs if you want to check them. So this is the Kaweco Steel Sport with a medium premium nib, and it has Kaweco Palm Green again. So these are some pens that I had to ink to show you to make the review of those nibs, and so they are still inked. The next one is a pen that I got from Kaweco. I'm so happy to have it. It's always protected inside this Kaweco pouch because it is a very expensive pen and I was lucky enough to get it. It's very unique. It is the Kaweco Sterling Sport, a very shiny pen that gets all scratched and lots of patina. And this one has a fine gold nib of a different generation of gold nibs that you saw on the other pens. So this is the Kaweco Sterling Sport. This is so heavy, so not so heavy, but it's a very heavy pen. It is 56 grams with a fine gold nib. It has some feedback, and the ink it has is Kaweco. I think it's the first gold nib, fine gold nib I have from Kaweco, and it's really finer than the medium gold nib from them. It has Kaweco Caramel Brown. So this is an ink that I've been using quite a lot this month because it's a nice ink and I have in several Kaweco pens. You can see that the writing on this one is a little bit more flexible, the nib, and it is stunning. I love this pen. This is a unique addition to my collection. So let me put it back in the pouch and again to the box with the other pen so it doesn't get more scratched. The next is another Kaweco. This is a new version also. This is the Kaweco Student 20s Jazz with a medium steel nib, gold plated steel nib. It has a gold colored section and it has a white barrel. So this is the Kaweco Student 20s Jazz, and as you can see it is much wetter and a wider line than the fine nib, which is kind of to be expected. So medium nib, and it also has the Kaweco Caramel Brown. Because of the flow, the width of the line, the wetness, this ink seems to be darker in this pen. But you can see here, you can see no line variation, and in the other one you can see some line variation. And we can also understand that the nib with the Kaweco Sport, the premium nib, is almost the same size as the medium nib on this one. So we could be talking about these details forever. Let's go for another Kaweco. I think these are too many Kaweco for normal people. And here you have another Kaweco Student, another recent edition, which is similar to the 20s Jazz, but this one is the Kaweco Student 30s Blues. And this one is, I'm not sure if I showed you, it is a gold broad nib, number 5. So this is a broad, and this one has diamine. You can see it's really different from the fine. Inkvent calendar 2021, number 8, raspberry rose, the same ink that was on the Kaweco Perkeo. And you can see there is some line variation again with this gold nib, which is softer. So kind of a raspberry color to match with the raspberry rose that looks different in this pen because it is wider. And last Kaweco. This is a Kaweco Supra in steel, which is a pen that I love. Can be used as a pocket pen or full-size pen if you use an extension to make it longer. It has a big number 6 nib, the same nib as the Kaweco Elite that I showed you before. So this is the Kaweco Supra steel with a fine steel nib, and it has inside, it doesn't, but let's do it this way, Waterman South Sea Blue. So in the case of this pen, I inked it with an ink that I thought it would be Waterman South Sea Blue. That's what I remember in my head, but clearly this is not Waterman South Sea Blue. But I don't know which ink I put here. Maybe I got my ink syringe, I put some ink inside, I thought it was that, but it's not, but it's a nice color, so I will use it up, and then maybe I'll change the color. Actually, I'm almost forced to change it because it's not Waterman South Sea Blue, so I'm not sure what I did here, but it doesn't really matter. This is a pen, the next one, also from Germany, so we are a lot in Germany. It is a pen that I received from Appelboom for review. I still need to do it. It has some rose gold accents. Even on the nib it has a rose gold accent with no breather hole there. It is a broad nib from Lamy, retractable pen. It is the Lamy Dialogue, the new version, the CC. So Lamy Dialogue CC in white with a broad gold nib and ink. Not sure if I have all the room to write it because diamine inkvent, it's very broad. I can't write with this pen properly because of my regular handwriting, but this is a really nice pen. It is very well made. I really enjoy the pen, not with this nib, but I really enjoy the pen, and the nib is very good. Not for me, but it's very good. The name of this ink is Ruby Blues, and I don't find it to have any kind of flex or softness, but it is so well polished. It's so smooth. I don't even enjoy pens that are as smooth as this one. I think it's a bit too much, in my opinion. The next one, also a Lamy, so we'll stay in Germany still. And this is a Lamy Safari in yellow with black nib, an extra fine steel nib. So this is the Lamy Safari in yellow with an extra fine nib, and it has diamine inkvent calendar 2021 number 7 Candlelight. So this is a yellow ink that I need to compare with another yellow ink that I'll show you in a few pens from now. The final pen of this box, there are still 2 more boxes to go, is this. This is a Leonardo Furore, Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero Furore, no, sorry, Momento Zero is the model. Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore. The color is Passion Red, and it is a lovely pen with a lovely material and with a medium steel nib. The older nibs from Leonardo, which were Bock, this is the case. So this is the Leonardo, this is a very good nib. Leonardo Officina Italiana Furore Passion Red. I don't know if I'll have the room to write it all. With a medium nib and diamine ink vent calendar 2021 number what? 14 Red Robin. It is a nice red in a very warm, almost orangey tone that I like. So I will take this box out and grab the other one. So I'm back with new box here on my right side, and the next pen that I will show you is from China. So we'll go from Italy, Leonardo, to China, and we have this Majohn Q1, which is this interesting small pen with a Jinhao medium nib. So this is the Majohn Q1 transparent with a medium Jinhao steel nib, and the ink it has inside is Sheaffer Script Blue. I think. No, it's not. Sorry. I'm getting tired. It's Kaweco Royal Blue. And this is a pen that I converted to a cartridge pen. It is an eyedropper pen, but I transformed it into a cartridge, and I changed the nib. These pens came with the Majohn or Moonman nibs, but Moonman nibs are available, as far as I know, only in fine. I asked for a medium, so it came with a Jinhao nib, but Jinhao nib that came with it was a silver colored one, and I changed for a medium gold color to match the clip. The next pen, also from China, is from the former name of Majohn, which was Moonman, and this is the Moonman 600S, and it is a pen which nib I quite like. So this is the Moonman M600S, blue and brown, as you can see, with a fine steel nib, and the ink it has, let me check, is diamine ink vent calendar 2021 number 6 winter spices, and it is a fun dark ink. I like this pen. It is in the shape of a Parker Duofold, which is a model that I really enjoy. The next one, also from China, also from Moonman, although it looks like a Montblanc, it has a German Bock nib made of steel, and it is a fine nib. So this is the Moonman M1000. I like the feedback that this nib has. I like this nib a lot, really a lot. I have to make my review about this pen. I didn't make it yet. I need to review it, and I think it will be interesting because I like this pen a lot, and I disagree almost completely with Doug from the channel Inquiring Minds, and it is fun to disagree because I find this pen quite good. Although it has some little troubles, you can see that the wood is not at the same level as the metal there, but I really enjoy this pen, and I want to show why I disagree with him. I'm not fighting his channel, I just enjoy his videos, and I find fun how different people may have different opinions. So Moonman M1000 walnut with a fine steel nib, and the ink it has is Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021 number 20 pink ice. Again, the same ink I had on the Kaweco Ice Sport pink, remember? In the other page. The next pen is from Italy, and it is the Montegrappa Mia Cityscape with a steel fine nib with that beautiful engraving by Montegrappa. Montegrappa Mia Cityscape for Corsani. It is a special edition for this store with a fine steel nib, and the ink it has is an Italian ink. It is Leonardo Officina Italiana purple, which is quite a nice purple, and if you use very wet nibs and wide, you can also see some golden sheen, which is kind of nice. The material of this pen is fun. I would love to have all the collection of the Mia collection of Montegrappa, but I can't afford them. It's getting too expensive, so I have to. Lucky me. The next pen is another Italian pen that I love a lot. It is the Nettuno 1911. This is a pen which nib got destroyed, the plating didn't go well, but the nib is amazing as a writing experience. So, and the pen is beautiful. This is I showed you the pen too many times. This is the Nettuno 1911 Black Sands, and this one has a fine steel nib, and you can see it is a fine nib, but it is much wider than the nib from Montegrappa. This is a Bock nib, Montegrappa is a Jowo nib, so they have, this is really an example of the difference between them, and it has some flex with it. It's very good. And the ink this one has is Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021 number 5 Harmony, and this is how the writing looks like. So you can see, you can have this line or you can have this line. It is an amazing pen. Let's move on. I'm not sure if I can record these all in now because I'm getting my memory full, so I may need to transfer the files to the computer and then to come back, and that's not nice, but maybe that's the way. Now I'll go to one of my favorite brands. So we are changing from Italy to the UK, and this is a Parker 45 with a quite uncommon nib for this pen, an oblique nib. So this is the Parker 45 with an oblique, with a ink that shades a lot, and this pen shows it very well, with Diamine. I'm not a fan of shading, but this color is really nice. Calendar, it's kind of a cognac color. 2021, number 21, and it's called Brandy Snap. And this nib allows you, this is a gold nib, and it will allow you for some line variation, not because it's gold nib, but because it is an oblique. So it's from the grinding of the nib, not from the material it is made of. The next pen is again from the United States, from the United Kingdom, from Parker, and this is the Parker 100 Flighter, or Parker 105. I like this pen a lot. It has a steel nib, which I think is a fine nib, or medium, sorry. So this is the Parker 105 Flighter with a medium nib, and the ink it has is one of the nicest dark blue inks that I ever saw. Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021, number 17, Thunderbolt. This ink is really amazing. It has an amazing color. It may look a little bit more purplish there on the video, but I really like it. The next pen is also a Parker. It is a Parker Centennial Duofold, so a big one, with this beautiful gold nib with the arrow, two-tone gold nib, and very fine point. So this is the Parker Centennial Duofold. There is some feedback because the nib is very, very fine. So you can check the difference, the line difference between those two. This is a needle point. It is one of the finest nibs Parker made, and it has inside the same ink, and you can see how it looks so different. Inkvent, I forgot to write Diamine Calendar 2021, number 17, Thunderbolt. So just compare the lines. They are not comparable at all. The lines and even the color of the ink shown into these different pens. The next pen is again a Parker from the UK, and this is a Parker Maxima Duofold. It is an amazing pen. I don't like burgundy pens, but I had the black one that had kind of a stub nib that I didn't like, and I bought the second one, and this nib is amazing. I couldn't exchange nibs because I would prefer the black, but I have this and I love it. And this is the Parker Maxima Duofold, the very different kind of Duofold from the other ones. I guess it's running out of ink, so it may skip in burgundy. I love this pen, but if it really gets out of ink, I think I will not. I think it's a fine nib. I think I will not ink it again, just to try to reduce the number of pens that I have inked. So you can see it's skipping a little bit. Parker Quink Black, but maybe it was just because it was sitting for almost the whole month. I didn't write almost anything with it, which is a shame because it is a wonderful pen and a very nice ink. And the nib is very, very good. I really enjoy the nib. I don't know if I showed you the nib. It has also the same kind of arrow. It's not a two-tone, but it is a big, beautiful Parker nib. And now we'll change country again. From the UK we'll go to Germany. And from Germany we have a couple of pens. And we have, the first one is a Pelikan M200, and it is a transparent one, so you can see the ink inside. So it is a Pelikan M200 in anthracite with a fine steel nib, which is losing the plating around the nib slit. And the ink it has is Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021, number 23, Wonderland. And this is an interesting pen. The next pen is also a Pelikan M200, and this one very different, white and transparent and with glitter and with a golden ink that is lots of very heavy glitter. This is a pen that I received from Appleboom for review purposes. It's not for me, just for review. And so this is the ink the pen that was released last year, or this year still, Pelikan M200 golden barrel with a medium steel nib, the same nib as the previous one but medium, with Pelikan Edelstein golden barrel. This one has a very, very heavy shimmer. I wonder if the pen can keep up with this, because this is the heaviest shimmer I ever saw in an ink. Can see that? Okay, the next pen is again I don't know where I put the other one. I'm getting a little confused. It is the Pelikan M805 in demonstrator. It's a beautiful pen with a fine gold nib. So this is the Pelikan M805 demonstrator, again with the same nice ink that you have on the Parker 45, with a fine nib, and the ink is diamine Inkvent calendar with these fine nibs of Pelikan, which are very very broad. The ink is number 21 Brandy Snap, and this is how it looks. And this is one of those nibs that sing when touching the paper, and I love the pen. I think it's really beautiful pen. The next one is this, also very beautiful. This is a work of art, one of my favorite pens from 2021, one of my favorite pens ever. It has a generic Yovo nib, it's made of steel, but the pen is amazing. So what is this? This is the pen Teo Samurai Ironwood with a medium nib, and the ink it has is diamine Inkvent calendar 2021 number 6 Winter Spice again. And this pen is amazing. It will be on my top pens for 2021, the final video that I'll make. I think I will be only able to make it in 2022. This is the following pen, which is a pen that I quite like also. It is a Pilot pen with a number 5 Pilot nib, black, and it's not very common to find. Not rare, but not common. It is the Pilot because it is discontinued, this model, and it was replaced by the Costume 74. This is Pilot Costume 67 in black, and this one has a medium gold nib that is very soft. It's very nice to write with, and it has inside Graf von Faber-Castell Hazelnut Brown. And this is quite a soft nib that I really enjoy. And I'll need to change for the next box of pens, and I'll try to maybe to do it a little faster, because I really want to do this before all the memory runs out. Let's see if I can do it, because we still have lots of pens here, but I'll try to rush these a little bit. The next pen is very similar to that, to the previous one, and this is the Pilot Costume 74 that came to replace the Pilot Costume 67. This one has a rhodium plated nib, and it has a transparent green barrel and cap. So this is the Pilot Costume 74 forest green with also a medium nib, and this one has inside, which one? Okay, the Diamine Inkvent calendar, but from 2019, the color Mistletoe. And it is a very nice, also with a soft springy nib, not really flexible but quite springy. The next pen is my self gift for this year, and it is for my birthday actually, and it is the Pilot Costume 743, which is a bigger version of the 74. It's kind of the cartridge converter version of the Costume 823. So this is the Pilot Costume 743 in black with a fine gold nib, number 15 nib, so big one, with one of my favorite inks ever, the Montblanc Racing Green. Very difficult to find and very, very expensive. I call it kind of a black green or a green black. The next one is still a Pilot, so we're staying in Japan, and this is a Pilot Lucina, as you can see there on the cap, and it has a number 5 nib, but still one. So this is the Pilot Lucina in red with a fine steel nib, and the ink is Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021 number 14 Red Robin. Again, that nice warm red color that I showed you before. This is a nice red pen that I bought once when I didn't have the money to buy a Parker Duofold, and I thought this would be a good approach to that Grail pen. The next one is not a Grail pen, it's a very small one. It's the Pilot Petit 1 with this look. So very simple pen, but perfect as Pilot pens are. Pilot Petit 1 in grey with a fine steel nib, and the ink it has is Pilot Blue. So nothing special in a pen that is nothing special, except it is very good for almost a toy pocket pen. Now we'll go for an impressive pen, but with an impressive writing quality, to a really impressive pen in price and material, and this is the Pilot Silvern with the carp design, also called koi by some people. So this is the Pilot Silvern carp made of sterling silver with a medium gold nib. Let me show you the beautiful nib on this pen. And inside it has the Kyo no Oto. I will not write the name of the ink because it's very difficult to say. It is the number 10, and it is an almost black brown. And let's see if I still have enough memory to the rest of the video. We still have many pens to go. Still 12 pens to go. I don't know how I did this, but let's try. I hope you don't mind if I rush these. The next one is this little toy pen, the Platinum Glamour, very small with all those textures, with a medium nib, steel nib, very cartoon-like. So this is the Platinum Glamour in black with a medium steel nib, and ink is one of my favorite gray inks ever, Diamine Inkvent Calendar number 3 Ash. I didn't write, but it is from the calendar of 2021, and I really think it is a very nice, dark, rich, saturated, brownish gray, and I think it's a great color. Now, we will stay in Japan, so Pilot in Japan, Platinum in Japan, Sailor also in Japan, and this is a beautiful pen with a 21 karat gold nib. So this is the Sailor 1911 in large, in black, with a hard medium nib, so no flex expected, and it has Sailor Gentle Southern, which is a nice turquoise ink, very rich ink with a very strong and pleasant smell, in my opinion. So we go from the 1911 large to the 1911 King of Pen, which is a larger pen with a larger nib, 21 karat nib, that you already saw many times in my videos, because this is one of my favorite pens ever. This is the Sailor King of Pen Dark Champagne. I'm sorry for rushing this, but Montblanc Daniel Defoe. This is one of my favorite inks currently, and finally all the ink that was left is inside this pen. I don't have any more of this ink, so I will start using another ink to this one. I think I will start using the Racing Green. Sorry, this is the same that I showed you before. I'll start using the Montblanc Racing Green, which is an ink that I really enjoy, and I have lots of it. So this is a Sailor pocket pen, which is being inked for forever and not much use. Sailor pocket pen with a gold fine nib, and the ink it has inside is Parker Quink Black. And why? Because it is a simple ink that is very you can rely on it, and it's very good, and I really like it, so I use it. I think I use Parker Quink Black the same way as Wasky Squirrel uses the Parker Washable Blue. Now, from Japan we go to Italy for one of my favorite pens of the year, the Santini Libra in olive color. Beautiful pen with white gold nib. So the Santini Libra in olive with a fine gold nib, and the ink it has inside is KWZ Oscar, which is a exclusive pen for Fontoplumo, exclusive ink for Fontoplumo. This pen is really amazing. I like it a lot. Now we'll go to the United States, and we'll stay there for a while because we have lots of Sheaffer pens. This is one. This is a Sheaffer Balance 2 with a feather touch nib. So Sheaffer Balance 2 with the color is, how is that? Crimson Glow with a F nib, and the ink is Diamine Inkvent Calendar 2021. It's skipping, maybe it's getting out of ink. As I told you, I didn't Black Ivy. I didn't fully filled all the pens because I know then the ink would last forever, and I don't want that. Beautiful pen, inspired on the vintage model, but it's kind of a modern version. This is another beautiful pen. This is a Sheaffer Legacy, also with gold nib. This is a Sheaffer Legacy 1. Sheaffer Legacy, and this is black and gold with a fine gold nib. It has diamine Inkvent calendar 2021 number 24 Yuletide, and it is a nice kind of teal petrol color, and this pen is really nice and amazing. I really enjoy this one. And because I have this one, I also have that, which is a very beautiful version of the same kind of model. This is the Sheaffer Legacy 2, the same filling system, and an amazing writer, also with a gold nib. This is the Sheaffer Legacy 2, and this color is called Linear Matte Black with a medium nib. It is linear because of that, those lines, and the ink it has is the classic Sheaffer Script Turquoise, which actually is, to my eyes, the same as the Waterman South Sea Blue. The next pen is a pen that I like a lot, but I already know he won't sell me, but I have this pen as a loan from my friend Luis. It is a very nice yellow pen with a steel nib. This is the Sheaffer No Nonsense, and to me it's a nonsense. This pen is no longer made, but I will make a video about that someday, with medium nib made of steel, and it has diamine Macassar, which is a very dark brown rich ink that I like a lot. So very nice pen, very nice ink, all perfect. And I need to talk about this model and some others because I think we need to go to collectible pens. All is collectible, but I think there are some models that could be more collectible, and the brands decided to discontinue them. Now, a very good workhorse pen. It's a little not that firmly kept, but it has the same kind of nib as the previous ones, but it has this is a steel nib, and this is the Sheaffer Triumph Imperial 444 with a fine steel nib, and the pen is made of brushed steel and a very good pen. It posts very well, and this one has the diamine Inkvent calendar 2021 number 11, and this is called Festive Joy, and this is how it looks like. I feel bad for rushing these, but I don't want really to have to put the files on the computer and then to record and to come back, so I need to do it this way. The next pen, I got the wrong pen. It's this. This is a Rotring 600, the one that has the faulty barrel I talked about. I didn't review it yet, but I like this pen a lot. It is a classic. So this is the Rotring 600 in black. It is a very good, these pens are great. With a medium steel nib, a very simple Rotring nib. Nothing on it except medium there. And the ink it has, again, Montblanc William Shakespeare, and very stiff nib, smooth, stiff. You don't have any line variation, anything. It just writes and performs perfectly. So this is Germany from previous United States, and from Germany we'll go to France to this Waterman pen with a marbled color that my parents gave me many years ago. This has a fine steel nib. So this is a Waterman Reflex marbled green with a fine steel nib and Visconti green ink inside that matches very well the color of the green parts of the pen. No line variation, no anything, but a very good, reliable writer. And finally, we'll go to the last pen. And I got to record it all in one go. I need to drink some water urgently, but I will not stop now. This is a beautiful pen, very similar to the Sheaffer Balance, but this is a Chinese pen. This is the Wing Sung with this nib. This is a replica of that one. This is the Wing Sung 626 in blue with a fine steel nib, and it has inside the diamine Inkvent calendar 2021 number 25, all the best. A great ink. This ink is really nice and this pen writes very well with it. So these were all the pens that I had to write with. So lots of pens that are currently inked. I will not do the pens for January right on beginning of January because many of those will be the same. Some are from month to month, but many of those will be the same because there's a lot of ink to spend. I will try to use them. I have a lot of stuff to write with, so I think I will use up some ink, and when I have the time, maybe towards the middle or the end of January, I'll make another video of this. So I wanted to post another video tomorrow, but I think I don't have the time to do it. I have some things to plan, so I think this may be the final video of this year. I have to wish you a very good 2022 year, better than this one, and hopefully more free of this COVID pandemic. I hope you are all well. I hope you'll enjoy my videos still. I hope to meet you here soon for some more videos, and I will use one of my favorite pens ever to write here. Thank you for watching and have a great 2022. So these are my wishes. I hope you enjoyed this hopefully long video, and I'll be back soon for more. Bye.